Hi there, church family. My name is Sydney, and I'm a student with the School of Ministry here at Church of the Front Range. And today we are reading in 1 Samuel chapter 11 through chapter 14. But during this devotional time, I want to focus specifically on chapter 11. Right off the bat, we see a lot happening. This chapter is jam-packed. We see chaos, we see a power dynamic, we see weeping, and we see fear, and we see anger, and we see victory by the power of God. It's like all there in the one chapter. You see the people of God, they try to make a covenant with the Ammonites, and the Ammonite, Nahash, he says, hey, okay, but my condition is that I'm going to gouge out an eye from each of you. And of course, the people of God don't think that sounds like a good idea. It sounds not great. So they're fearful, and they want to gather more people to then battle against the Ammonites. And that's where I want to start, right where Saul is introduced. It says in verse 5, "Now behold, Saul was coming from the field behind the oxen, and he said, 'What is the matter with the people that they weep?' So they related to him the words of the men of Jabesh. And then the Spirit of God came upon Saul mightily when he heard these words, and he became very angry." So it's from this place then that they go out, and Saul leads the people by the power of God to victory, and they defeat the Ammonites. But what I really want to focus on in this passage, in this portion of Scripture, is what we just read in verse 5 and in verse 6. I want to talk today about anger. I felt the Lord wanting to highlight anger in my life, and I pray that this is helpful for you as well as you listen. So first we see Saul. What does he first do? He first sees that there's something wrong. He sees the weeping and he asks, what's going on? And after that he says, he hears of the sin that's occurring, and he hears of the pain, and he hears of the wrong. And after that, it says, the Spirit of God came upon Saul mightily. And then finally from that place, he became angry. He was filled with anger. See, sometimes I think it'd be very easy for Saul to instantly, he hears it and then he's filled with anger. But what I love that the scripture highlights is it's then the Spirit of God came upon Saul mightily, and it was from that place that he was filled with anger. See, here's the thing that I felt the Lord highlighting is oftentimes I like to justify my anger, but justified anger is not always just anger. Right? It's not always righteous anger. See, oftentimes my justified anger is very sinful. But here we see that Saul's anger was just. It was righteous because he was filled with the Spirit of God. I want to encourage you today as you reflect on your day and you reflect on the days past and you reflect on the anger that you feel. Would you be bold and ask the Lord to reveal if your anger is just or if your anger is being justified by yourself and by your sin? Oftentimes I like to get really angry at others from what I see, but what does God say? God's word tells us, and God's word commands us to love God first and to love others second. So we know that we are called to love others, and we are also called to hate sin the way God hates sin. So I can't help but notice Saul was filled with the Spirit of God, and Saul was angry at the oppression and at the wrong that was occurring. Saul was not just filled with an anger because of, oh no, how dare he threaten us. No, he was filled with the Spirit of God, and it was from that place that he was filled with anger. I want to ask you, are you loving people well? And are you going to war with sin? Because we can do both, and we are called to do both. When you're talking with your neighbors, when you're talking with your family, when you're talking with your kids, are you loving them well? And are you also calling them to live a life that is pleasing to the Lord? In your own life, are you loving God well? And are you coming against the sin in your life? Are you going to war with the idols of greed and lust? The idols of insecurity? The idols of pride? Are you going to war? I want to encourage us to take time today and to ask the Lord to make our anger right, to make our anger just, to be angry at what he's angry about, to be filled with the Spirit to love well and to rejoice in him. Encourage you to do that today. I encourage you to repent of the ways that your anger has not been pleasing to the Lord, and to ask the Lord to use you today as he sets you out to do the things that he has ready for you, that he has prepared for you. Just know that I will be praying for you, and I pray that the Spirit just reveals more and more to us the ways that are pleasing to him and the ways that we can love others well.